More than a month after Rancho Mirage council member Meg Marker abruptly resigned, the city council has decided to appoint a new member rather than hold a special election. Whoever is appointed will serve until 2026, the end of Marker's original term. I spoke today with Mayor Steve Downs about the process and why he thinks that this is the best way to fill that vacancy. All right, Steve, tell us about what is going on in Rancho Mirage and the appointment process for the new council member.
So the appointment process has already begun. So at 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon, the city clerk began accepting applications. So an application form is available on the city's website, and applicants can submit through to the end of the day on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. Now, next Thursday, we will have a special meeting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon at City Hall. And at that special meeting, those applicants who have applied will have an opportunity to come to City Hall, to come to the podium, and to make their case as to why we should appoint them. And then the following day on Friday, a week from today, at 1 o'clock, we will have yet another special meeting. And at that meeting, we will review the appointees and determine if there is someone who we feel comfortable appointing for the remaining term of the vacancy. So that's how it will work.
And I know this was a unanimous decision by the council last night. Why do an appointment versus electing a person?
Sure. And that's a good question. The issue, I think, for us is that we have an election that has just concluded. In fact, as we know, the results have yet to be certified. But we're pretty sure that we know what those results are going to be. And specifically, what the council wanted to do was to wait until after we had the results of the election so that we would feel that we had greater clarity from the public as to how we should go about filling this vacancy. So we specifically did exactly that. That's why we met yesterday, or it was on the agenda yesterday, to discuss this issue. So the current election is actually going on right now. It's not been certified, as I said a moment ago, but we know who's going to win now. The incumbents are going to win. They're going to win by a very wide margin. And so it is the case that what the voters in the city of Rancho Mirage have done, they voted for two incumbents. They did not vote for a challenger, nor did they vote for two opposition candidates. Now, the two opposition candidates were clearly opposition candidates. They were as opposed to the city council as they could possibly be. I think everyone knows that. So what the voters did in this election is they did not rate the candidates from first through fifth in order of preference. What they did is they decided on the two incumbents that they wanted to elect, and they clearly rejected the two opposition candidates. Now, if we did a special election, filing for that special election would actually begin on the 11th of this month. And filing would close on December 6th, and the special election would have taken place on March 5th. The result is that if we had agreed to do a special election, it would simply be a continuation of the current campaign. And the two candidates in the current campaign who have been already rejected by the voters would have an obvious opportunity to be elected in the special election simply because they have already been campaigning. They're already reasonably well known. Their positions are reasonably well known. We did not feel, and I don't feel, I certainly think it's the wrong thing to do to go to a special election and give a serious opportunity, a leg up, if you will, to two candidates who have just been clearly rejected by the voters in the city of Rancho Mirage. Hope that makes sense. Makes sense to me.
And I think you mentioned in the meeting last night, there are advantages to this as well. It's almost like the citizens of Rancho Mirage get to see this person on the council and then decide whether or not they would like to keep that person in the election when that comes back.
That's a very good point. And it certainly is the case that in the past, when the Rancho Mirage City Council has made appointments to fill vacancies, in the following elections, the voters in the city of Rancho Mirage have overwhelmingly ratified those choices.
All right, Steve, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Peter. Good to see you.